I do have like kind of a nice setup.
What kind of monitors do you got?
Focal.
Nice. Oh, and you're using a laptop with like a monitor display.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. So how have you been doing?
Dude, I've been doing great, working on lots of music. Just finalized my new EP.
Yeah, sick,
Same?
sick.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah,
I've heard a bit of it. It's sounding really good. Um,
yeah,
did you? So are you totally 100% done with it?
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Nice. I'm excited for
Very
that.
excited. Like I'm gonna like we have a collab coming together in November. Like the perfection, the EP.
Yes, yes,
So
we do.
so this one's gonna be special too.
Yes.
Excited
I,
for it.
I'm really excited for that one. I love the stuff you did to the parts that I sent
Thank you.
you. I love collabing with other producers. It's
Yeah, it's funny when you learn from others. Like it's funny when you just don't like collab with someone and just do everything, and the other just put your name like in the title. That's kind of like boring. So
mhm.
it's funny with you because like I've learned so many stuff with your streams and like all your the way you work and everything. So it's perfect because like collab is the perfect way to learn from like from each and others. So yeah, I was excited to collab with you, man.
Same man. I love collabing. I got a couple more collabs coming out with some other producers. You know, I do. There are some of the bigger producers do what you just said. They'll just like slap their name on it. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna name name. Actually, I will name names. Why the fuck not? Um, like
let's
people
do it.
like Steve Aoki and those like bigger like old school
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah,
Primus guys and house guys will do that. I'm not trying to talk shit on them. I just know they do that probably because they're
yeah,
so big,
exactly. Yeah,
they're so massive, and they just like sign off on it, but like, oh, this sounds good. I'll just stick my name on it, put my name first, and it does like phenomenal because like it's Steve Aoki or someone like that.
yeah, exactly. Like the weird thing is like sometimes like small artists are down to do it, even though like it's kind of like shitty, but like they do it because like they have more like exposure after it, and like I don't know, it's kind of an easy way to do it to enter like the industry. But
Yeah,
I've never like tried to do it or anything. I just like wait until like the collab is coming. I wait for like the opportunity. Like I have like a Swarm, like I
yeah,
have a collab with him coming up,
nice.
so it's going to be super sick because like I've always wanted to collab with him, but like never really asked him. So I just wait, and on Twitter it happens once, and there you go. I have a collab with him. So like that's crazy. That's
That
cool.
is that's cool. That works out. A lot of these producers, like the smaller ones, like the more. I mean, I wouldn't say Swarm is small. I mean, he's a small artist, but he's got momentum and he's got
Yeah,
fans. Like he's going places. You know what I mean? He's on tour with Sullivan King and Lick,
yeah, that's
and
huge.
yeah, that's huge. So he's one to watch out for. He's a very powerful producer in this like industrial based scene. I got a collab with him coming up too.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yes, you
That
have.
was one gonna be sick.
I still haven't heard yours, but I'm assuming it's going to be like a massive like dark banger.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Doing like super futuristic, kind of like Tron, cyberpunk, kind of like futuristic music, like with his touch, with his like dark, kind of like melancholic stuff. So it's gonna be super sick. Yeah,
Let
I'm
me ask you a
excited for it.
question. What do you think about like a lot of let me phrase it this way. Do you think a lot of these sort of dark mid-tempo producers are all starting to sound the same? Because I'm hearing
No,
like no?
yeah, I mean it depends. Like there's a generic mid-tempo out there, but like there's a lot of like unique mid-tempo. And I could like say a bunch of names like Swarm, Quaxen, You, Valik, Slews, uh, Shadian, Xavier. Like they have all their own signature, and that's what makes this style like super sick for me because it's all different if you really work on it, and if you want to sound like really unique, it's really easy to do it with Midtempo specifically because it's a new style. So like you can break all the boundary that you want, and it's gonna be really sick.
What first got you into Midtempo? How did you discover it?
Oh, Potter Benson, Fresh Static Snow, live edit. Like I don't know, I've seen this track play live. I don't know, it just makes it click, like at this specific time I was looking for a style. I was doing like more house, electro, and I was like, I don't know, it just sounds like other people are doing. So I said I want to be more unique. And I've heard this track, but it was so new for me. I was like, oh shit, like it's the first time I've ever heard something like this. And this Fellow Feelings track, the first drop too,
Mm-hmm.
it's so weird, like in a good way, you know. It's unpleasant to the ears at first place, but like if you listen carefully and like pay attention to all the details, it's so much better. And like and yeah, so these two tracks really like got me into mid tempo. After I started listening to Raz and like more mainstream stuff, but I kind of find a way like Raz is different than like Porter Benson mid tempo, because like Raz is really like simple, minimal, simple, kind of like sometimes kind of like I don't know how to explain this, but like she kind of like a lazy way to do melody, and he was like 16, 17, and I was really younger, and he was just playing this at like Christmas and like parties and everything, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like so surprised. He played like a lot of like Daft Punk, Dead Mouse 2, like a lot of like electro at 128 BPM with like Infected Mushroom at like 135, 132. So yeah, I was listening to a lot of this style. So when I wanted to start doing music, I was really inspired by like Dead Mouse. So I started doing like progressive house. That turned out to be like Big Room at the end. So I went after Big Room like Future Bass. I went bass house. I went back to electro, and after I found mid tempo, so I blend like electro and mid tempo together. Like a good example is my new track like Creature with Shister.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a good blend like between mid tempo and electro, and that's the perfect like kind of music I want to create. Just a blend of like all the inspiration I have, like even Effington Mushroom, I take inspiration on every artist I listen to, and I
Yeah,
just try
right.
to blend all together. I just not trying to copy one like specific artist. I just try to like I don't know take parts of like every artist and just blend all together, so it sounds so more unique and new. I guess
That's
that's the way
cool. That
I'm doing
infected
music.
mushroom is one of your
Yeah,
influencers, inspirationers, because they, dude, I was, we're kind of similar in that regard. It's like they kind of got me into
thanks, guys.
that's how I oh KYB music. What's
Yeah,
good? Yeah, infected mushroom got me into psytrance. That's how I discovered that whole
yeah.
genre. When
Yeah,
I was
above and beyond is a huge one for me too. Like this
oh
more
yeah.
like trance-based music, like more like electro-ish trance. Like this was a huge major, like a huge change for me too, for my taste.
Oh yeah, Above and Beyond is amazing. When I first discovered them, like I feel like that whole Anjuna, like if we're just gonna talk about trance for a second, the whole Anjuna like crowd like made me realize trance could be something a little bit more special than just like pretty melodies, because like trance before that was like I just was like I don't know if you remember the track like Children by Robert damn, I like forgot his name. It's so classic. Wow,
I
some
don't know,
EDM
but
person
I'm gonna look for it.
is gonna like kill me. What? The track Children by the dude. What the fuck? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's like a classic trance, old school. Damn.
For
What the
children,
fuck? Yeah, Children. It's like a classic trance. Is someone in the chat? No? Matt Friendly. You gotta know what I'm talking about. The track. It's like Robert Miles, I think, maybe? Is that his name? Fuck.
I'm looking
Robert
for it.
Miles' Children. It's like this. It's got piano melodies. Anyway, like trance, like back in the day, like I'm saying,
Oh, Robert Miles.
yeah,
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 okay, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know this one. Yeah, it's a huge classic. Yeah.
yeah. Trance was like that, and Alice DJ, like Better Off Alone. And then when I
Yeah.
discovered Above and Beyond, they had like electro-y elements to it. And I was like, oh shit, this is like I'm getting in there. But then,
Yeah, even like Seven Lions too.
oh yeah,
He
Seven
did he did
Lions.
a lot of trance.
I mean, I think he
It's
might have been
actually really
signed
cool.
by Anjuna Beats.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
funny.
so. I think.
Like two mid-tempo producers talking about trance music right now.
Yeah. Well, I listen to everything. So
That's good. That keeps you like I think fresh. I think it's good to listen to a
yeah,
lot of
exactly.
styles. I love
Yeah.
trance is always gonna have a special place in my heart because that's what got me into EDM. Like seriously, like when I first heard EDM, I was like 7 or 8, so I didn't really understand, and I couldn't go to parties. Um,
Yeah.
like an older cousin of mine showed me like an old school band, Crystal Method, and like back when like in the '90s, like breaks was like really big with like Chemical Brothers and like
Yeah, Chemical Brothers is a huge inspiration too.
the Prodigy and stuff like that. And then when I got older and it was able to go to parties, it was like I got really into trance, and then I got really into like hard trance, which I don't think most people know
Okay.
about because that's like
No.
a really European, Australian, UK sort of genre. People in the States like don't even know it. They probably know it nowadays as hardstyle sounds so different than like what it did like when it came
Yeah,
to
exactly.
hard dance. I don't know if you're familiar with the age of reverse bass. Yeah, someone it's because you're not from the States.
Like I'm not a huge fan of it, but like I've listened to some when I was younger. Yeah.
Jump style? That's right.
Like
Jump style. That's
like
crazy.
another style of like it's so weird. Like if
Yeah.
it's inspiring me so much to do music, it's like if you listen to like he's huge. Like I don't even know this guy. DJ Splash, man. This
DJ
is so
Splash?
weird. I'm talking about this. Like listen to fucking DJ Splash. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Wait, let me show you something. Yeah, this is gonna be funny, man. Uh, like 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 20.
Yeah.
So I was 8 years old. I was so young. Like this, like oh, this bring me like, yo, this is so weird. This is like art dance, I kind of music. It's kind of like trance, but like really fast. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I think I would probably call this like energy, like NRG.
Yeah, that
Off bass.
that built all my chill. This is so old. Like the mix and everything, it's not clean, but like this is so old.
I mean,
Dang.
back then it was. I mean, if you listen to older tracks, like with what you've heard now, they sound like hella dated. But I remember like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
thinking they were so sick because compared to like pop music sounded like General MIDI. Like back
Yeah.
in the day, it was so
Even
bad.
rock music.
Yeah. You know, I'm working on trying to like make mid-tempo that's like inspired by some of these older genres that I really love that people haven't heard of, like hard trance or like early hard style with a reverse bass. I still haven't gotten like reverse bass to sound good at like 100. I might try like
Yeah.
110 because like that style really like needs like the 150 tempo or 145. But I think it's really cool to like go back in because a lot of these new ravers they've never heard of some of these older styles of music, and I don't know if they ever will because like I don't think hard trance is ever going to make a comeback, and hard style
No, yeah.
is already like its own. It's already the dong 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 dong, which I have actually tried in some of my tracks, and I think it sounds really cool at like 100. But like the reverse bass style, hard style, I don't think people really are maybe I don't know what's what. I don't really go to hardstyle parties, so maybe we hear some reverse bass. But I think that would be really cool to incorporate some of these ravier sounds. That's the word I'm going to use, like ravier sounds into like mid-tempo, because, like you said earlier, mid-tempo is kind of a new genre, and it's basically just a tempo. So you kind of make so many rules. Raph is right. It all started with hard trance. That was like, I think this artist named Hens and Cold, in like 1999, like did a reverse bass, which was basically just a hardcore kick. Back in the day, a hardcore kick was just a 909, heavily distorted. And then they just reversed it, so it had the, instead of being like boom, it was boom, and they just put like a 909, and then the reverse bass was boom, 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 boom. And it was fucking jumpy as fuck.
Yeah.
Raph, in the chat, you know your shit. Shout out to you.
but yeah, that was whole hard trance.
Yeah, that kind of like, I was listening to that a lot in like high school, and that's when I discovered Infected Mushroom, like around, and I'm like older. I'm 34, going on 35. So I was in high school from like 2000 to 2003. And
oh shit, I was like 4 years old.
damn, son. And that's when once I discovered Infected Mushroom, I was like, fuck, I love psytrance. So when I came out of high school and I was like allowed to like go to parties, I was all about the psytrance, and I was a psytrance fucking warrior from like 2003 to 2010. Like that's all I was into. It was like psytrance only, because it was, I didn't really discover bass music until I think 2008. How did you get into bass music specifically?
With Monster Cat.
With Monster Cat?
Huge, like, yeah, because like I was doing like big room and like more progressive. I was a fan of him. Like I've never liked his music. Like, so I never went into like dubstep trance in the beginning. So I was just stuck with the big room and progressive house. Like, just a friend of mine, just like I was listening to like Elbird on Monster Cat, and like Nitrophone, and like all these Tristan, and they were doing like a dubstep collab, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like listen a few times and see like if I like it. Like, it turned out after years or so, when I was living in San Francisco, I was listening a lot more like dubstep, and I was like, okay, this started to be good, and like after that it went like I listen a lot more bass music now than like house music and progressive house. Like I don't know, it take me a long time to enter the bass music. I don't know why. Like, it's once I've really like listened to Porter Robinson and like all these artists that they were doing like something different with live set and everything with bass music, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and I click it right.
Did you
right
get
into
that. Electro house, like specifically Complextro, like Wolfgang Gartner and
Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
That was kind of like what I would consider like early bass house, like before, because like bass house was, I feel like bass house kind of started with Jaws. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was another.
No. Yeah.
I would say like Jaws was like the main bass, but like if you listen to like earlier, like Wolfgang Gartner and like Porter Robinson, old school Porter Robinson, the stuff they were doing with synthesizers was like bass. It was like bass music, but like at 128, because it was like very complicated, and it wasn't just like your. I feel like house music before then was like very techno based, like things like that, repeating bass lines. It was like very like, traditional dance music, and that kind of style opened the doors. And because I heard that music, like that kind of prepared me to like dubstep and bass music, like in general. Yeah. And once I heard bass music, I kind of like stayed in that world for a while. Would you consider like mid-tempo like a form of bass music? Because like sometimes people say like, no, it's like a form of
It's I think for me mid-tempo is like a subgenre of electro.
I can see
electro
that.
house, electro.
Because if you
Because
slow down electro,
because
it sounds
I
like
do mid tempo at 128. Like I can do mid tempo at 128, so I think, and like electro, it's like 128 to 120, I guess, 110. It depends on like the track. But like so I think it's closer because like bass house is way more like growls and like dubstep kind of like synthesizer than electro. Electro is a lot of like saw, square, like these are like huge electro. I was listening a lot of like complex show. I was listening to Virtual Riot because he
ooh,
was doing more complex show before like 2013, 2014.
yeah.
And so like after when I was listening to him and I was like, oh, that's great. So when he put like dubstep track after and etc., I just went into it after like it was better. So I started to listen dubstep with him too. He's a huge major that change.
You might be too young to remember this or like be a part of this world, but did you ever get into like down tempo or like chill out?
What do you mean like lo-fi? Like
I guess you're okay. So check it out. Back in the day, like when house music was faster, like 134, 135, and trance music was like always 140 BPM. Like the raves, like to rave in the main room would tire you out. So like the side room, there it would be called the chill out room, and and they would book like down tempo artists. That was actually the first time I DJ'd. My first like time ever DJing was as a down tempo DJ.
oh shit.
Because like I didn't know how to DJ, and so I was like, "Fuck!" Like DJing is hard. I'm just gonna with down tempo and chill out. You just mix between the ambiances. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a down tempo set to get my foot in the door of DJing. Literally, like I actually learned how to use CDJs at my first gig. As crazy as that
Same.
sounds. Same,
No,
really?
but same, yeah, yeah,
What
exactly.
was your
I
first
never
gig?
touched this. Uh, I was mixing like bass house, but like I wasn't making bass house.
How did you
Uh,
so how did you manage? Okay, so if you just learned on, did you just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this?
uh, kind of, but like I was just watching like tutorials in YouTube on CDG, and I was like, okay, this, and I will remember. And like I remember the first 10 minutes was so like not bad. Like if you know how to DJ, you could see me like I don't know what the fuck am I doing. And like after the 10 minutes, I just start like I don't know feeling it,
Yeah.
and it went good. But like I was mixing bass house, so it
But
was kind of
you were a
easy to
producer
mix.
first though, right? So I'm sure like
Yeah,
being a
exactly.
producer and
Yeah,
knowing about like tempos and drums patterns
yeah,
and
exactly. It helps me a lot because I'm a producer way more than a DJ. Like I've never had like CDJ. I've never had like controllers and anything. I'm a producer first and foremost.
what was the year when your first show?
Last year,
Last year? Dude,
but I've been
congrats.
doing thanks. But I've been doing like music since like 5 years. I think. Yeah, 5 years.
When I did my first show, I was like on CDJ like 700s or 8 or some really like old school like thing that didn't have sync or anything like that. So like I was like terrified of like shoes in the dryer, train wrecking sound because I was playing with like this other like house DJ that was like doing it all on vinyl. I was like, fuck, like I'm just gonna play down tempo and chill out. Oh, so the reason why I brought that up is because that's kind of like where I first. This is like the year 2007, and that's like where I first learned about dubstep because back then dubstep DJs were getting like room because dubstep back then didn't sound any better. And then when Skrillex came out with Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, I was like, who the fuck is this guy taking over the Beatport charts? Um, and that's kind of how I discovered bass music like that way. And I, I guess I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this story. I guess I'll just say that like DJing for your first time learning on the spot is really crazy.
Can be
and
hard.
it can be very hard. I'm just like you, producer first, produced for years before I like got on my first gig because fuck, dude, it's hard to get bookings like when you're like starting out because there's
Yeah,
so many
exactly.
DJs. I mean, there were so many DJs back then. Now there's even fucking more.
But I'm lucky because like I don't know why, but like in Montreal is a huge scene.
Hmm.
Like once I did my first show, it just went off. It just I don't know why. Like I've been like getting a lot of booking and everything and good slots. I don't know
Congrats,
why.
dude. That's
Maybe
amazing.
because I was yeah, thanks man. Maybe because I was doing like mid tempo that like nobody was like paying attention in Montreal. And like Montreal is mainly focused on rhythm right now. So
Rhythm.
like so the scene wanted something new and I just bring
Yeah.
something new and people wanted more. So now I'm just like really happy to like doing show and everything because like I don't know, just being like a snowball. It's so weird.
So is that mainly the scene in Montreal, just like mostly rhythm at the EDM shows?
I mean, like there's techno, trance show, but like the bass music,
Hmm.
it's a lot rhythm, a lot of rhythm.
Do you think rhythm can like? I mean, I think rhythm can sound pretty monotonous after like because it's almost always 150 BPM and there's like not much change. Like, does it sound like? What do you think about rhythm?
I mean, I love rhythm. Like when you verse, I mean, it can be for every style.
Yeah.
Like if you just overuse something for the whole night, it's gonna be like rough for everybody. I mean, for me, it's gonna be because like if you play a show drum and bass for like 6 hours, I won't like it. If you play rhythm for 7 hours, I won't like it. If you play dubstep for 7 hours, I won't like it. Like the problem here is just the book for like specific style, and they just stick to it, and they don't look for like the diversity for other style of music. So the scene start to just want every time the same thing.
So what do you do in your sets? Do you kind of stay at the same tempo, or do you like gradually go up, or do you switch up out genres? Like how? What is a law set like?
I mean, since I mix a lot of like my own music,
Hmm.
I just go by like EP or album. So like I don't follow like I follow BPM in this particular like EP or album. Like between them, I just don't pay attention. It all go together. Um, like usually I just do like I start with dubstep the first 20 minutes just to
Yeah.
bring people like because they all want dubstep, so I'm gonna play dubstep. Like normally I just play dubstep like my own dubstep track or like my friend dubstep track. So often it's track that people don't know, so like it's fun because like it's hard, like they don't know the song, so it brings something new to them, you know.
Hmm.
So after I just switch to like drum and bass for like 4 or 5 tracks and switch to mid tempo after it, just to do like a transition.
That sounds like fun. Kind of like get them in like the heavy mood, and then drum and bass. They get hyped up because it's super
I
fast,
and after you go
and then you
flow
like chill
with the
them out
flow.
with mid tempo, and they just want to dance. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It
fucking
will
love
always
mid
work
tempo.
out. Yeah, because like
So
if you because like since mid tempo is like really new, if you start with mid tempo, people are gonna be like more like, okay, what's that? And they're just gonna be like, they're gonna go smoke or anything. So I'm just starting with dubstep, so they're like super hype about it, and they're like, oh shit, they're gonna play huge dubstep. And after two, I switch mid tempo, and they're all surprised, and they're all, oh, that shit is new, but like that's cool, because like I've put out dubstep and they liked it, so they are looking for like mid tempo because they know what I can do with dubstep, so maybe I can do it with mid tempo. And when I did this for the first time in show, because in the beginning I was just doing like mid tempo show, 100%. But when I start doing dubstep in the beginning, I saw another reaction, and it's just crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. It's I just look at people's face and they don't even understand me. It's so funny.
It's still like a rather new genre,
Thanks, Smokey.
even though
Yeah,
it's kind of been around for a bit. It hasn't been around like long enough to really like I think where people like kind of like know it as a staple genre. I personally would probably put mid-tempo as like a style of bass music, specifically because a lot of mid-tempo artists are like booked at bass shows rather than like house shows or like techno shows or like trance shows, like the more traditional dance music. Um, I
yeah,
do recognize that like it is like electro. Like if you listen to some Justice tracks, they're like slower
exactly,
vibes.
exactly, yeah.
Um, and like Gustaffelstein basically was he was like a techno artist and he just decided to slow things down. The way I discovered mid tempo was by like slowing down progressive house glitch hop, and that's kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
how I discovered like 100 BPM as like a
yeah.
viable dance music.
When I did like my first big show, kind of like big show,
Hmm.
people were coming at me and they were like, "Dude, are you mixing glitch up?" And I was like, "What?" And I didn't know. Like now I know why people were saying this, but like I wasn't seeing like the connection to it or anything. And I was like, I was finding this kind of weird.
Yeah, because glitch hop was like the only like big like well produced like genre in dance music that was at like 100
Yeah,
BPM. So I think that's kind of like why people thought about it. I fucking love glitch hop. I kind of want to introduce some glitch hop elements to mid tempo. Um,
that could be great.
there's some the producer that's kind of like doing that right now. In a way, is I've talked about this in like a couple of like live streams back with Weasley. Is 13, who's I think like around like
Yeah,
your area. He's like somewhere he lives somewhere in Canada, I think, and he's
yeah.
basically
In Toronto, he's living
yeah
in Toronto. Yeah, yeah.
that guy.
There's a lot of mid-tempo producer in Toronto. There's like
I bet.
Sluice, Kryla, Rez,
Oh yeah, Rez
um, 13.
13.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of people coming there.
Basically, the way you get like the glitch hop sound is you take out your second and fourth kick and you replace it with a snare.
Yeah,
And it's surprising like how much the groove changes because the frequency of the snare is like your kick is like here at like we'll just say 80 hertz. And it's just like kick, kick, kick. That's like mid tempo. But then if you have like the snare, which is like 200, it's like kick, snare, and it gives you kind of
exactly.
like this boom,
Yeah,
like this different
it's like
different bop vibe. I don't
yeah,
know.
exactly. And like people like at like mid tempo show and everything, they always say like it's fun because like you can headbang to it, like it's a slow headbang, so you enter more the music. You like it's more like a slow flow, so it's easier to just get into it instead if it's fast or like a lot of energy or anything.
I would
That's
love.
why I think people like mid tempo is taking a lot of like popularity around like bass music.
Yeah, it's a really in the bass music scene. I think it's very fresh, um,
Yeah,
and I bet a lot of them are probably bass like a lot like bass heads are probably accustomed to glitch hop, but like the way that like we're doing it with like the more electro sounds, um, it it's definitely fresh. Although one thing I will want to say is I personally feel like the sustained like electro saw that you hear in like uh, many tracks is like
yeah,
that
yeah, exactly. That's
1780.
the saw square problem.
Yeah, the saw square problem. There's like a name for
Yeah,
it. The saw square problem. You just like get like a huge kick and then a huge saw side chain it, brah, 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 and
yeah, exactly.
you got like
Like
basically your standard
yeah,
mid
that's
tempo.
why like example if you have listened to Conception, my new track, Like in the first place, the bass was like a saw bass, like you said, and exactly. It was sounding like too much like mid-tempo, like every track. So I was like, okay, I need to really find a way to just do something really like out of the style. So I put out like a vocal kind of effects, and I play with a lot of like reverb. So like it's like a back and forth uh, respawn with the reverb, and it turned out really like unique. The track is sounding really unique, and if you listen to it, it's not like, oh, it sounds like Res, or oh, it sounds like 1788. It sounds like Laws, because like I've tried to just change it. So like if every mid-tempo producer tried to like find a new saw square bass, it would be so much better for like the old style. Because like if people are always using the same preset, you're gonna kill the style for sure. Like Rhythm is doing right now. Because like if you use always the same wank wank, it's gonna be good for the side, you know. Because like
Yeah,
by
I
time
think a
it's
lot
gonna
of
be
newer producers get into the scene like when they like fuck, I want to produce mid tempo. They probably just like start with a saw because it's
because it's easy to make. That's the thing, I guess, because it's easy to make. The thing with mid tempo, it's hard to sound unique. Like once you sound unique, it's gonna be good.
it is that is true. It's hard to sound unique. What are some things that you hope to see like in the mid tempo? Like how what would you like? Where do you think it should evolve? Where do you want it to go, or what do you think it's going to do?
I don't know, man. Just like give it time to it to just like be bigger, because like it's just gonna be more like more popular with time.
Mhm.
So like example for like in 2 years, I don't know yet how mid tempo gonna sound. Like I hope it's gonna be best for it. Like I really don't know. It just keep it just keep evolving with it, and just like example when I produce mid tempo, when I know I'm gonna produce a mid tempo track, I'm just starting with how to not sound like the same track I did. And that's the first goal you need to do, is like trying to make something you didn't in the first place. And that's hard to do. Like I mean, it just need practice and patience. But like I think if every producer does this, it's gonna be really great for the style in general.
I I I feel like that's going to happen. It just needs time. Whoa.
Doing good
Star Spectre says mid-tempo jazz acid funk is the future.
for sure.
That sounds really cool. Funk and mid-tempo would sound really sick because I already know funk and mid-tempo could be sick because a lot of
Yeah,
if you listen to do you know who Cohen Sound is?
yeah, yeah,
They're
right.
very funky. They're
Yeah,
more what they did is they would swing their kicks like a glitch hop, hip hop, boom 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 bap, boom bap, boom boom boom.
yeah. I do have some tracks like that. I've tried to do like more like mid tempo Daft Punky kind of like, because like Daft Punk have a lot of like jazzy kind of like beat,
Hmm.
not like instrument, but like they have like their beat are a lot like funky.
Hmm.
So I and like Daft Punk is a huge inspiration for me. So I've always like tried, and it's like it's true, like it's two style like goes really well together, because like mid tempo have a huge flow dominance to it. Like mid tempo is important with a like the flow is important in mid tempo, and funk is the same. Like funk have a strong, I don't know, strong tempo, a strong like groove to it. So like both together sound always, it sounds great. If you do it well, it's gonna be so sick.
True, if you do it well. I usually am not like the biggest fan of funk music, but like if it's done in like a way where it's like it sounds like heavy and hard,
Catchy and
like a
yeah,
blue top, then I could like get with it. And if like someone does it with like mid tempo where it's just like, more four to the floor mid tempo funk, that could be a lot of fun. Especially it has like some Daft Punk melodies. Daft
yeah,
Punk
exactly.
melodies are like fucking legendary, and they're
because they're catchy.
yeah,
That's the thing.
they are indeed catchy. I would love to hear some like synthwave, retro wave, like 80s sounding stuff in mid. I mean, I think we're already kind of having that movement happen, but like those 80s melodies, like Kandinsky and like I don't really know synthwave producers besides like that guy, but like stuff like that would be really cool. You know what I'm talking about? Like this 80s
Yeah, synthwave,
stuff.
yeah. Like kind of like retro kind of game music. I don't know, like Blood Runner, Tron, like this
Oh
kind
yeah.
of type of music. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. That would be
yeah,
cool. More of that. See, once we have like more of these subgenres, then like my idea of like a mid-tempo festival, like a mid-tempo version of Lost Lands or
yeah,
EDC would be so sick. You can have like all like the goth boys in like one area and like the retro people and then like hard mid-tempo. That would be a cool
yeah.
genre. I want to like speaking of like hard mid-tempo, like where they use like hard style kicks. As far as I know, I'm the only producer that's doing that. Maybe more people will do that. That would be really cool. Also, just like more innovations. You know how like dubstep has all these subgenres. Um,
Yeah.
I want like that to happen. And
But
I
I
think
think it's really with times though.
yeah, it needs time. Got to be patient. I need to be patient. I'm usually very patient, but with like mid tempo, I mean it's my favorite genre right now. So I just like want it all to like be right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where putting in the work in the studio like comes into hand.
Yeah.
So are you producing on what DAW are you using right now?
FL Studio.
FL Studio. That one has always been hard for me to use. How did you come across FL Studio? Why did you choose that one over all the
It's weird because like I've started with Ableton. No, sorry. My old brother, like he's the one who like teach me how to do music, and
Mhm.
he's show me with Cubase.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't liking it, but like he was showing me, so it was fine. But like once I really wanted to start, so I bought like a laptop and I started with Ableton. But I don't know the interface of Ableton. I really don't like it.
Really?
I'm more like yeah, I'm a huge fan of the interface of FL Studio. That's why I changed it. And like the stock plugin of FL Studio is like game changing. Like it's weird because like people is like how your track is sounding like so loud and so clean and clear and everything, and I don't know, like, I'm just like, I don't use like isotope, I don't use like huge VST that takes a lot of CPU and everything. I just use my stock plugin in the FL2 and it does the job. It's just, you need to know what you're doing and it's going to be perfect. It's just, people are putting too much effort on like VST and plugins and everything and they don't know how to use it properly instead of like knowing how to compress everything properly, how to use reverb properly, how to use EQing properly. I don't know. It's just the way you learn and everything. Like FS Studio for me is my top. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean I'm a gamer too, but like I okay, so I produce in Reason, which is like I don't
Yeah.
most producers I talk to do not use Reason. That's like more of hip hop
But it's a
producers.
good it's a good DAW though
It's a good dog.
for recording though.
I like Reason because it's like it mimics. It's based off of like how you produce like in real life, like um before DAWs existed, like what you would do in the studio, like with like racks and real synthesizers. And because I guess I'm old now, like I learned like from people that were really old, and that's like how they taught me producing. So when I was like looking at DAW, I was like, oh shit, this is like the shit they taught me.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this was back in like 2002 though, so like there was no Ableton really. FL Studio was like Fruity Loops, and it wasn't that big. And like the other ones was like Pro Tools, which was super complicated as fuck, and
Yeah,
Cubase, which was
Pro
also really
is
complicated. So when I saw Reason, I was like, fuck, this is easy as fuck. I mean, now like it's Reason's complicated, but like compared to like Pro Tools, it's simple. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
about Pro.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of like Pro Tools
Pro
and
Tools is like,
Logic and
oh yeah, Pro in Logic. That was the other one. Like Pro Tools is good if you're like recording like rock music,
exactly.
or
Yeah,
you're trying to mix like a movie, something like super complicated and massive. But if you're just trying to make like one song, it's kind of overly cumbersome.
yeah, exactly.
Um, FL Studio though is like come a long way, and I know there's a lot of people that fucking swear by it. I think I just saw someone in the chat like say like FL Studio gang. So there's some cool camaraderie between like FL Studio people, and it has like a very
Yeah,
like gamery feel. Because I think you can like customize the skins a lot, and I think
yeah,
it's
exactly. I did.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that how you can kind of really customize your fucking like
It's
loadout.
really like friendly user. That's why I like FL Studio.
I feel like it was built for like hip hop producers. This
Yeah,
could just
type.
be just because I think of so many hip hop producers like use it, and there's also like this plugin in FL Studio where you can like make your own like I don't know if you heard of Trap Nation, but they're like a YouTube channel that posts trap music, and
Yeah,
they whoa, someone's calling me. Sorry, got a decline.
that's fine.
There's like this you know those videos on YouTube, the visualizers. They have like a visualizer like plugin in FL Studio. So like when you're done making your like trap banger beat or whatever, you could like make a video of it. And
It's like I'm gonna show you a project of mine. Like people, if they know like FL Studio, they're gonna look at me like, how the fuck are you using it?
Mhm.
Like I don't know why. My workflow is like so fast. Like when I have an idea, I just know how to do it because like I've worked so much on FL Studio by not watching tutorials, by just like learning by myself, by doing like mistake and just learning everything. So like I just know FL Studio by heart, you know. Like it just my workflow is really fast. Like I don't know, like normally you have a track for each element you put on your track, right? Like me, it's just a mess. Wait, I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
You're gonna see my project. It's just a mess. Like everything is just all together, smashed together.
Damn.
But like I don't
Jesus.
know. It's just the way I produce. It's just my head is like I don't know. It's just a mess. But like I don't know. It's just I like the way it looks. I don't know. It just you can move everything. You can so easily. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain. Like the workflow is really fast with it, and that's why I like. I really like FL Studio.
How long have you been producing on FL Studio?
Uh, I've just worked on Ableton 1 years, so 4 years on the FL Studio. Yeah, it
It
took
seems
me.
like it's a
It
really
took me.
creative DAW.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of like colors, and I don't know. It's beautiful to see. I don't know because Ableton it's all like minimal and all like I don't know rectangular and like all the same shape and everything.
See,
And
I
I don't know
figured that
why I
Ableton
just
would probably be easier for people because I feel like that's why it seems, at least to me, in dance music, it seems like it's the most popular DAW because it's easy and minimal and like you can kind of learn it fast.
yeah. I don't know. I've learned faster on FL Studio, but like it might be just my taste. I don't know. It just be me.
Never used FL Studio, but when someone showed me now, I was like, fuck, I could just like I can make a YouTube channel and like curate my own like music. I just like have this cool visualizer. I don't need After
Yeah.
Effects.
Okay. So I have my track. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put visualizer. Okay. So I have. Okay. So the screen is gonna be here. My FL Studio is here. Okay. Wait. My camera is.
In the
Wait.
studio with logs.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is just take a preset. I don't know. gonna take something weird. Okay, so it's gotta react to the music. Wait, I'm gonna change it. And you can change everything on it. Oh, but it took a lot of CPU. Wait, I'm gonna just put the drop. It's gonna be. This one does not work. But yeah, man, as you see, it takes a lot of CPU. It lags so much because my PC cannot handle it. But I'm gonna take a smaller project maybe. Because this song is huge.
Those are some pretty intense graphics to have like inside a DAW.
Yeah.
That's meant to
it can even work in a show. You can connect it on a show and just do your visual by yourself in the show.
Fuck, that's pretty sick. Okay, FL Studio gang, I see you guys. You got some cool shit.
Yeah, yeah. They have some like sick product, man. But wait, I'm gonna show you again.
Like, and all the other DAWs, we're getting kind of sleep like shit on it in that regards. I don't have a visualizer in Reason. I don't think Ableton have visualizers.
Nope, Ableton don't. It's so the only one, I think. So it's this one. So I'm gonna try some bunch while my track is playing. There's a bunch. This one is cool.
It's our job now to reveal everything they destroyed.
But yeah, that's a cool thing with FL Studio. It's this thing.
Those honestly are way more complicated than the ones that like this hip hop producer was showing me. It was basically just a background with like a snow effect, like a high resolution background, and then like an image, their logo just sort of moving and jumping around. I didn't realize you can get that detailed with like 3D graphics.
Yeah, exactly. And you can all change it. You can like do it from scratch.
What the fuck? It's like FL Studio and After Effects all.
So it's just gonna play it when the kick is playing. You can take one on the snare. You can take one in the piano. So you can all make visualizer for each element.
Holy shit!
This is like you need to have a huge PC for that. You need a huge PC for that. I have a good laptop.
Needs a lot of processing power, but like imagine like how sick the visuals. You could just do your own visuals. You don't even need a VJ. If you had the PC power, you could make some sick fucking graphics.
Like you know Denmouse, the cube he's having. Like it's kind of the same concept. Like he's not using FL Studio, but it's the same concept. He can create his own visual. So you can do it the same as Denmouse. You can create your own visual.
That's so cool. Is that something you plan on doing, like, and the future, your shows, like, having your visuals, like, be really synced up to your music?
No, because I have my own, like, graphist, and, like, he can do, like, 3D visual, so it's even better. Because, like, if I want, like, I don't know, like, a city or something, he can create it from scratch, so that, wait, do I have it?
Shit. Homie.
I have visual, wait. I can show you this. You might
get cut off in 15 seconds, by the way. There is some timer going on at Instagram Live saying 8, 7, 6, 5. Yo, I'm gonna go sick.
like I have 1 hour of this, so I'm super excited for like.
Holy
like,
shit!
wait, I do have
Sick.
some others, I think. Yeah, I have some. Like these are like just clipped for like 1 hour, but I do have like a bunch of them. Wait, do you have others? Yeah, I do have like some sick visual. I'm excited to like use them for once.
Oh hell yeah! Those are fucking sick.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it before. Did you say that you made these, or did you have like a friend?
No, I have my own like graphist for that. Because like I don't know how to do that, so I need someone to do it for me. Like he's a friend of mine. Yeah.
That's something I want to get like learn into the future. I want to like learn 3D graphics so I can make like really cool effects.
Yeah.
Although it takes you know how it takes years to become a good producer. That's like a whole other. It takes years to make good shit like that.
Exactly.
So
But like
probably
it's every like it's every work you do. Like it takes times to become good at something. You just need practice and determination, though.
Yo, so Laws, I had
Yeah.
a great time chatting with you.
Yeah,
I'm
same
gonna
man.
wrap this up. This video is gonna go on my YouTube channel, Social
Yes,
Kid Official, and so like you could everyone that's like watching right now, you could rewatch the whole thing. We got a track coming out together. That's gonna be sick.
November.
Anyone in the chat or the comments in YouTube, just let me know what you think of this stuff. Tell me who you want else to have on. Stuff like that. Yo, Laws, thank you so much for your time,
Thank
for
you,
your
man.
energy, for your collab. I'm super excited to share this stuff. Your visuals are awesome.
Thanks, man.
Fucking sick. I want FL Studio now.
For visual. Yeah.
Just for visuals.
Just for visual.
Yeah. So, dude, have a great time. I guess you're just gonna probably be producing right after we get out of here.
I'm gonna work a bit. Just got a ton of inspiration just for that talk. So.
Yo, Occult Circus, thank you for stopping by. There's probably not going to be any videos on Dust Off, which is my old YouTube channel. You got to look at Social Kid Official, which is where I put all my new content. Maybe like if I'm whenever I don't know if I'll ever go back to Dust Off. That's an old channel I had where I used to talk about like black magic and the occult and like mysticism and some really fucking crazy esoteric stuff. But for now, we're talking about mid-tempo bass. Laws, you have a great time. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
See you around.